Oh, hi. We meet again, my friend. Ooh, okay. I'm nervous to do this. This is vulnerable for me. Whatever. Here goes. If you are an adult who used to dance or never have but always wanted to, this one is for you. This also goes for athletes or people who played sports. I think you might like this too. But first, hi, I'm Sink, like the kitchen sink. I'm a singer-songwriter who makes music for film and TV, an actor, a voiceover artist, and many other creative things. But my first love was dance. So today we're going to yap a little bit about my journey away from dance and now kind of back into dance as someone who didn't consistently dance after graduating college. So if that's you, if you used to dance or you were an athlete in school and you've wanted to try these things, but you feel like you've been on the sidelines and as you get older, it's like, how do I keep this alive? I want to share my story in case it helps rewrite yours. So I started dancing when I was around 5 years old because my older sisters were dancing and I just had to do it too. And then I completely fell in love with it. I think music is a beautiful language and dance is an expression that gets to live on top of music. So yeah, started when I was really young, got hooked. I did all the regional dance competitions, participated in theater in high school and college, and then was on a bunch of dance teams and sort of pre-professional companies in college. I was well trained, but I am not trying to say that I was some Misty Copeland out here, okay? Let's just be clear. And then when I graduated college, I got a big girl job. I moved to New York, and suddenly it felt like my built-in dance programs just weren't there anymore. Taking class was expensive. I did try to do that as often as possible. And also my days weren't structured like they were in school. I didn't have as much time for things. I had a whole bunch of other priorities in my life. I was also like 23 living in New York and, living my best life, learning how to be a grown-up out here. And what makes me so sad, even thinking about it now, is that I never intended to stop dancing. I always wanted it to be a part of my life. It didn't have to be some big dream or goal I was going after, but I always saw myself dancing. It made up so much of my identity growing up. And to this day, I really credit dance with my confidence, my sense of self, how I feel in my body. And I know a lot of us have experienced some of the negative sides of dance as well. It's not exactly a body positive environment. But I think if you talk to most dancers or athletes, they will tell you that those disciplines helped them understand their bodies a lot better. So yeah, dance made me feel like me. And suddenly I found it dwindling and moving into the background of my life. And I felt like I didn't have any control over that. Huge disclaimer is I know that it's on me that I didn't keep dancing. I couldn't figure out a way to make it a priority, and yet I was sitting there feeling heartbroken about it. So I get that feels hypocritical, but yeah, here we are, babe. And then all these new generations of dancers were coming up. This was also the era of dance classes becoming more about getting viral videos of the choreo you learned that day. And especially living in New York, I just felt like, where can I take class that, I'm not surrounded by people who are trying to become commercial or Broadway dancers and filming every class. And, I just want to keep learning and keep my spirit alive in my own peaceful corner of the world. And when I envision my life as an old woman, I imagine myself as that grandma who is taking heels classes and being hot and spicy out here and able-bodied. So I have decided to challenge myself and repair my relationship with dance. This is something I've thought about over and over again over the years. And the reason I'm documenting it is because I want to hold myself accountable. And I could have really used somebody talking about this on YouTube 10 years ago. So I hope it's helpful for somebody out there. Okay, now here's the other part of it. When I was in my peak dancer shape, I still really struggled with some technical skills, including my extension, so lifting my leg. I always felt like I needed the momentum of a kick or a tilt, and I just anatomically couldn't figure out why my hips felt different than other dancers that I was dancing alongside of. And I had the strength, I had mobility, I was really flexible, and I just couldn't figure out how that puzzle fit together. Then during the pandemic, I discovered Allie Christensen, who does gyrotonic training out in California. And I was like, what is this? The answer to all my prayers? For those who don't know, gyrotonic training is a movement method that uses spiraling, flowing, rhythmic exercises to increase flexibility, strength, mobility, and open pathways in the nervous system. And I know it's a little niche, but it's actually perfect for dancers and athletes. And when I discovered Allie Christensen's work during the pandemic, I was so excited. I bought her online flexibility course at that time and saw a real difference in my flexibility as I was working through that. And, I had a lot of time because it was the pandemic. So that was really exciting for me. And fast forward a couple of years, I was out in California doing some music work, and I drove down to Allie's studio and worked with her in person one-on-one. They use a lot of Pilates style machines. So if you take Pilates already, it's very similar. And I remember telling her, I want to see if I could get more flexible or have a better extension than I did when I was 20, and was kind of like incredulously laughing about it because I felt really dumb saying that. And she just was nodding vigorously at me like, yeah, you can. And just had so much belief in this method. And of course, life started lifing on me. I did not have the time or the budget to really be making this a big priority in my life. And I feel like now is the right time. I hit my mid-30s, and it's made me think a lot about how I want to treat my body for the rest of my life and what I want to do while I am still able-bodied. And Allie now has an app called Dancer Strong, which I can link in the description box, so I can do that stuff at home. I've also been on my first ever weight training journey the last couple of years. I was always the light weights cardio class taking girly in my 20s, and just a couple years ago discovered that I could go lift heavy things and see a lot of really interesting results. So I've been really committed to that the last couple of years, and I have also seen my mobility suffer a lot. I'm probably the least flexible I've ever been at the moment. And also I'm in maybe the strongest and largest version of my body because I've built so much muscle. So this is going to be extra interesting. So I'm going to be committing to gyrotonic training and also seeking adult dance classes that don't scare me. And I'm going to document that to hold myself accountable and also to keep you posted on what I find, because I think there are a lot of us who would love to know where we can take class and feel good and not be so intimidated. So I'll keep you posted on that. And my overall theme right now is you are not too old and it is not too late. So I am trying really hard not to be ageist against myself as I go through this. The mantra I keep repeating that you may find helpful is, there is no expiration date on my magic. And also, as I've been deliberating, am I actually gonna do this? Do I have the time? Do I have the budget? Can I really commit to this? Is it gonna take away from all my weight training and blah, blah, blah? And I feel like I got a little wink from the universe because I was talking to my sister the other day and she was telling me about this slideshow she had just watched that was honoring one of our dance teachers when we were younger, and how, I'm featured in a lot of those photos. And she just said, like, Sink, I think you need to be dancing. You're such a beautiful dancer. And it felt so, it makes me emotional. It felt so free of any judgment or expectation, and just about me as a person in my spirit and my love of dance. And that, even if I dance today and I don't dance the same way that I could when I was 20 years old, I still am a worthy dancer, and I can still call myself a dancer, because if you dance, you're a dancer. Oh, Lord, I really need to get larger memory cards. Where were we? So if you want to follow along for that journey, I will be posting about it here and probably on TikTok and my other social media. And if you want to follow along with some of my other series I'm creating about ageism and creativity and living just a silly goose of a life, feel free to like, subscribe, and all the things, and we can have fun exploring this together. Sending you so much love and light. I hope you move your body today. I hope you find a way to be a little bit of a silly goose today, and I'll see you next time.